A new dawn, a new era, and an historic moment in the sport as Abu Dhabi in the UAE staged the opening leg of the much-awaited Longines League of Nations, where the top 10 ranked countries in the world went head-to-head in the Al Forsan International Sports Resort. The new-look Longines League of Nations series blends the traditions of the past with the excitement of the modern sport for a four-leg super series that will take place across 3 continents. After Abu Dhabi, the action will move to Akala in the USA in March, and then to the Swiss town of St. Gallen and the Dutch city of Rotterdam in June, before concluding with the big final in Barcelona, Spain in October, where the best 8 teams will battle it out for the inaugural title. And the opening leg looks set to be a mighty clash of champions.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's actually the first time for me ever being here, so it's all brand new, and with the new Longines League of Nations, it's going to be super weekend.
We're very excited for the start of this new LLN League. It's something completely different, and it's really, bringing competition to the fore early in the year, and we're really excited to see how it works out for us.
We're very excited. It's a brand new format, and for most of us, the team aspect of our sport is the most important.
Team Ireland would get the best of the draw because, ranked the #1 nation in the world based on points accumulated by their top 6 riders, including one under-25 rider, they will be last into the arena when the action began, where the hosts, not vying for qualification for the final, would be first to go. Then, running in order of merit of those team rankings, Brazil would be second into the ring, followed by Sweden, Belgium, the Netherlands, Great Britain, Switzerland, Germany, France, and the USA. The competition consists of 2 rounds in which the athletes jump the identical course against the clock. 4-horse rider combinations take part in round 1, with the best 3 results for each team being counted. In round 2, the top 8 nations from the first round will jump the same course again, but with only 3 riders instead of 4, who will be selected by the chef de keep. The nation with the least penalties wins. All scores count, so any mistakes will be very costly.
Should be exciting. We have no choice. We cannot do any mistake for our country.
Even if maybe one team is a bit of ahead, it's still open to the last riders.
In case of a draw at the end of the second round, there will be a jump-off with just 1 rider representing each team. And this is how the first round played out. Team Ireland already set a mark in the first round, finishing on 0 penalties as their first combination, Richard Howling and Consulant de Prelay, the second rider, Michael Pender on his gelding HHS Calais, and the final rider, Mark Macaulay with GRS Lady Amaro, remained penalty-free.
Well, a clean sweep for Ireland. Top 3 scores count, their top 3 scores on 0, a great clear.
The Irish team finished in pole position, leaving all other teams behind. The jockeying for second place was lively. Team Germany proves its good form with 2 clear rounds. Joanna Spray, as second-line riders, and her mare Spray Hot Easy jumped a clear round for her team before Germany's anchor rider Christian Aumann sealed their team, finishing on 4 fulls with another clear round.
When the pressure's on, you can depend on this man.
A perfect round from a former world #1, former World Cup champion, multi-medalist Christian Aumann shows his experience here.
But the Swedes left nothing to their German colleagues and also finished round 1 with 4 fulls. World #1 Henrik von Eckermann on Iliana rode a clear round, as did Olympic rider Rolf Horan Bengtsson.
Look at the balance that Rolf has through the corner. He's able to keep moving but have all the balance behind on the horse. What a round from this pair.
A very key round for Sweden.
Halfway through, Ireland were in a commanding position on 0 penalty points, chased by Sweden and Germany with 4 points apiece. Switzerland and Brazil each had 8 points, followed by the UAE on 11, and Great Britain and the USA on 12. What a start to the Longines League of Nations opening leg. Team France, Team Belgium and Team Netherlands missing the cut for round 2 in a fierce first round over Santiago Verilas's track.
Sure, I'm disappointed this time, but we have a few more qualifiers and we try our best to go to Barcelona.
In Ocala we have also a completely different team, so we're looking forward. I must say the sport is fantastic here today. The course builder did a very good job, but we had the luck not on our side today.
The chef de keeps now needed to make the crucial decision of which 3 riders would ride round 2, where every penalty would count. Let's join our commentary team of Philip Gazala and former international show jumper Jessica Curtin for round 2 of the Longines League of Nations.
There you can see the rider marked dark is the rider who will not come back. And surprisingly for the Americans, it's Alice Oaken that's not coming back.
And this is Great Britain, so 2 clears from Joe Stockdale and Jack Whittaker, and Sky Higgin. What a tremendous weekend for her. Donald Whittaker won't be coming forward with Millfield Collette. So the 3 chosen by Di Lampard: Joseph Stockdale, Sky Higgin, Jack Whittaker for Great Britain.
And there we have the home team, United Arab Emirates. They are competing for the glory. They are not part of the Longines League of Nations. And the slightly under the weather, Abdullah Hamid Al Mari, he's fine, spoke to him outside, he's fine, but he's not riding.
Now we go to Brazil. Marlon Medeiros Zanatelli and Grand Slam will not be coming into the top 3. In Luis Felipe Cortez Gonzalez with Sierra de Perdue, Yuri Mansur and Luciano Diniz. That's the 3 for Brazil.
Move on to Switzerland, and there you see Pius Schwitzer with Just Special is not coming back. The others all jumped very good, and chef de keep Peter van der Weij has decided to leave off Pius.
Now we move to those with just 4 faults. We've got Christian Kuckuck, Jonas Breyer and David Will for Germany. Christian Alban, he's not back in.
Sweden, Iliana, who jumped so fantastic, she's back in. Antonia Petersen Hagstrom, it was the most inexperienced combination with Sarah de Lorbery. She's not riding, but she had a great opportunity, and he's taken the 3 stalemates to go for the next round.
They came here as the leading nation in the world at the first ever Longines League of Nations, and it's Ireland, Richard Howley, Mickey Pender and Mark McCauley. It is the inaugural Longines League of Nations. We're in Abu Dhabi. It's the 2nd round. Hannah Selick for the United States of America with Cloud 39 will be the first into the arena. She enters the arena now, the Youth North American Games team gold medalist.
We can't say enough times, the Longines League of Nations, it's a new series and it's a new concept. We're down to the 2nd round, 3 riders in the 2nd round, and all scores count. Hannah Selick, 2 fences down in the 1st round with the wonderful Cloud. There'll be great support in the home country. Everybody will be sitting in front of the screen watching and cheering the girls on. Cloud found it a little difficult to find his stride here at the beginning of the week, but there's great support here from the American team. They're always very, very positive, the Americans. Good girl, great ride to the water. See, the horses and riders have had a chance after the 1st round to really feel the 5 strides, so there's an awful lot more understanding of how each rider should approach that combination to make it easy for their horse to jump it. And I have to say, I'm seeing the Hannah now that I've seen before, very determined, very positive, and Cloud really answering to her positivity.
On the 4. Oh, the last has come down. We also saw that happen on several occasions in the first round, so she completes on 8 faults. Hannah Selick with cloud 39. So all scores count. That 8 added to the 12 from the first round on 20 penalties, United States of America. Now we go to Great Britain. 2 of their quartet had clears in the first round, and this was one of them. Joseph Stockdale riding the 10-year-old stallion E-Banking.
Joe and E-Banking really foot perfect in the first round, and although he's got a bit of a touch of flu, Joe, it certainly is not going to stop him performing. I think if Di Lampert had been said before the competition if they'd make the second round, she'd have taken it, but these young riders really moving up and starting to show that they can take the pressure. He just tried to sit quietly for it there, got caught out. E-Banking not backing up just as much as he did in the first round. Carrying the 4 faults is really not the end of the world, and this is something that the riders really have to think about in the ring. Every score is counting, so just keep it low. And another very good round for Joe. He shakes his head, but a great performance.
Another great round for Great Britain, just that 1 fence down, so 4 faults over 2 rounds of this competition for Joe Stockdale and E-Banking. So on a total of 16. Great Britain with Jack Whitaker and Sky Higgin to come.
Welcome back to the Longines League of Nations here in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. We're in round 2, where only 3 riders of the best 8 teams jump the track around the clock. And all riders' scores count, so any mistake is going to be costly. Team Ireland is still in a commanding position on 0 penalty points, chased by Sweden and Germany with 4 points apiece. Will Ireland extend its narrow lead, or will Germany and Sweden be able to attack the #1 team in the world? Let's get back to the jumping action and join our commentators, Phil Ghazala and Jessica Curtin.
First line rider of the 3 for Germany. Germany, who carried forward just the 4 faults from the first round. It's Christian Kuckuck with Mumbai. Germany and Sweden on 4 faults from the first round. Ireland on 0.
Interesting decision from Otto Becker to leave off Christian Allman, who jumped 1 of the 2 clear rounds for the Germans in the first round.
Perhaps another interesting thing for people who've recently joined us, Jess, the 4th line rider who was left off in the first round, should there be a jump off, they can bring them back in to jump in the jump off should they wish to.
Absolutely. There are no restrictions to what the chef d'equipe can do, who he can use within the 4 riders which are in the ring. And Mumbai jumping a very, very good first round with Christian, but this is the moment he has to really think about his ride. He got caught out going into the double verticals like many. Now Christian has to really sit. He's going to take 1 more stride. Sit up. There we go. He got really, really a good ride. Spot on. Only about 2 centimeters difference to the first round, but this time it was absolutely foot perfect. Christian likes to use his voice a lot with his horses. You can just hear him just speaking. Kind of a bird noise that he makes to Mumbai on the way to the combination. And this is an important round now for the German team.
Will really put pressure on Sweden and Ireland. He comes down to the last. The clock looks okay. It's a perfect round from Christian Kuckuck and Mumbai for Germany. That is exactly what Otto Becker ordered, and that's what he got delivered by Christian Kuckuck. Germany, a clear. The first clear we've had in the second round here in Abu Dhabi, and that keeps Germany on 4 faults in the #1 spot. We still have Sweden on 4 and Ireland on 0 to come. So now we go to Sweden as Germany stick with just the 4 faults with Jonas Bray and David Will to come. Germany keeping the pressure on the nations above them, and there's just 2. The Sweden who've come forward with a similar score from the first round on 4 faults and Ireland on 0. The first in for Sweden, the world #1, Henrik von Eckermann with Iliana.
Yeah, an owner of Uliana and King Edward, Georg Craney. He's here in Abu Dhabi. Met him just before the second round, looking slightly pensive, very nervous, but of course, great supporter of his horse and rider here. Iliana looking very relaxed and comfortable in the first round, producing a foot-perfect performance. Henrik jumps there a little bit to the outside so as he can get a good run on the 6, so as he lands running, so as he can then close at the end on the 5. Beautiful to see how the rider picked the perfect line to suit the horse to get the optimum takeoff point for that combination. Just the last line to go, but it's not really just a last line. Henrik keeps the rhythm up through the corner, tries to get there close on the 6 so he can close to the last jump.
The world #1 flies around this arena in Abu Dhabi, keeps Sweden on just the 4 penalties, matching with Germany. What a fantastic round from Henrik von Eckermann and Iliana for Sweden. So, Ireland, they know that they have got Germany and Sweden snapping at their heels, who are really keeping the pressure on Ireland with clears from each of the first 2 riders from Germany and Sweden.
And of course, Phil, we could theoretically go into a jump-off if we have teams on equal scores. It still could happen.
Richard Howley, super clear in the first round, riding his double World Cup winners. They won in Oslo and Helsinki, Equine America, Consulate de Prelette. Lauren Thompson, who looks after Consulate, up in the kiss and cry area.
Yeah, and Sarah Bothwick, of course, will be watching at home. Great supporter of Richard Howley, owner of Consulate, together with Richard, and she really supports him and his horses. First round was very good. This horse jumping at its best, showing the same form that he showed in Oslo and Helsinki when he ran away with those 2 World Cup wins. He jumps also to the outside to get a run, but he had to give more push than he wanted. And now he slows down there, yes, to get the stride he wanted. Well ridden. Of course,
he didn't have an easy line down there in the first round.
No.
Brilliant again.
700,000 up for grabs today in this competition. It's an exceptionally rich competition, this Longines League of Nations. Consulate, a horse that's really sharp off the floor, very, very quick on the jump. And Richard just keeping him calm now on these last 2 jumps for the Irish team.
78 seconds, the time allowed. He's clear. He's a second inside the time, perfectly judged on the clock. Brilliant 2 rounds of jumping, a double clear from Richard Howley and Equine America Consulate de Prelette for Ireland. Ireland stay on 0 with Mickey Pender and Mark McCauley to come.
This horse really is electric. Jump. Oh, don't you love the passion of this sport?
who now are still in that #1 spot at the first ever Longines League of Nations, the inaugural competition here in Abu Dhabi.
We're in round 2, where only 3 riders of the best 8 teams jump the track around the clock. Ireland, Germany and Sweden's first-line riders all finished on 0 penalties, so Ireland can keep up the narrow lead so far.
So Ireland maintain their lead with a clean slate. We go back to America. Rider number 2 of the 3 in the second round. Callie Scott riding the 13-year-old gelding Garant.
Sponsors at home watching us and at Southern Arches Farm, and they will be cheering this combination on. John Madden is here with Callie. Oh, you could just see it coming. You could just see it coming. Garant just taking her on and running down to that last jump. I tell you, the Americans, they'll be getting a container and putting that jump on the cargo and taking it back with them. And such an uninspiring fence to cause so much trouble. It's sometimes incredible how one jump that you really don't expect can get into the heads of the riders. I'm sure Santiago Varela will be raising his eyebrows that his #1 has caused so much trouble today. Yeah, she says whoa, and Garant backs up and whoas.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just like whoa. Yep, mum, I got it. Just see sometimes Garant really takes the jumps on, and Callie has to be ready early to judge her stride, just to give a little bit of room at the end, that when he does run too deep in the fence, that there's still enough place for him to get the right takeoff spot. Good performance.
And pops over the last second inside the time. And just the 4 false word, matching Callie Scott's score from the first round, putting United States on 24 penalties, keeping them in the 8th spot at the moment. So United States with Aaron Vale to come, but on a total of 24 at this stage.
It's really starting to add up now, the faults. It's quite incredible how the faults are coming.
34-year-old Sky Higgin, a comparatively new name to the senior teams for Great Britain, but she is here with Jordania Dutillard for Great Britain. Great Britain currently on 16 penalties in 6th place.
These two have really not had the opportunity to jump at this level, so it's a big step up for them. You just see Jordania sometimes not measuring exactly the height of the jumps. That's due to the inexperience. But Di Lampard really having to test some new riders for her team going towards the Direction Olympics. That's why she's brought them here, as she knew this would be a test at the very top level.
And Sky Higgin completes her campaign here in Abu Dhabi on 12 penalties, matching her score from the first round with Jordania Dutillard. Great Britain slip into 8th place on 28 penalties. And Jack Whitaker, Equine America Q, Pavarotti N to come, bidding for a double clear, Jack Whitaker.
Welcome back to the Longines League of Nations here in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. We're in round 2 and all rider scores count, so any mistake is going to be costly. Now let's get back to the jumping action and join our commentators, Phil Ghazala and Jessica Curtin.
But before we go back to Great Britain, we go to the United Arab Emirates, our hosts here, and one of the men who've really flown the flag over the last decade for the UAE. Top of his sport, Abdullah Mohammed Al Mari with his comparatively new ride, BBS McGregor.
And being the host nation here, having the chance to ride against the best in the world, really will up the level from these riders with their wonderful new horses. And there McGregor didn't really have a chance. Abdullah just kept coming. He would just need to work on getting the balance behind. There is chef to keep and trainer Will Funnell standing watching. He's very, very passionate about his team. And I think Jack Ryan, it was difficult to give up the ride on this horse. I think he'll be very happy to see how well this new combination is blossoming together.
Khan Abdullah. What a super round. He has picked up a couple of time penalties, but he hasn't touched a fence. A great performance from Abdullah Mohammed Al Mari, and puts the UAE into 7th place on a current score of 25 penalties. I was willing him to jump a clear round.
I think everybody here is willing him to jump a clear round, Phil. Don't feel alone on that one.
Well, the sun has come out in Abu Dhabi. It's been quite rainy today, but now the traditional weather as we go to Brazil. Yuri Mansur, a great clear earlier on this afternoon with QH Alphonse Santo Antonio.
Lovely balanced ride down through the water. Really nice to see that some of these combinations that know each other so well, and the horses are really well gymnasticked in their bodies, how they can make things look easy where others are struggling. Foot perfect.
And bearing in mind all scores count, an expensive round for Brazil so far puts them on 20 penalties with the 2 fences down from Yuri Mansur and QH Alphonse Santo Antonio on 20 in 5th place. With Luciana Denise and Vertigo du Desert to come in for Brazil in 5th place at the moment. Just the top 8 in this, the 2nd round of the Longines League of Nations in Abu Dhabi. Now for Switzerland, Yannicka Sprunger with the wonderful 10-year-old mare, Orally.
Yannick and Orly had a beautiful first round. And of course they too belong to the elite group of Swiss trying to get on that team for the Olympics. They're being tested here in Abu Dhabi. Of course, Martin Fuchs and Steve Gerdau, goes without saying, they will be on the team. They have a good string of horses. They will be on the team, but Thomas Fuchs and chef to keep Peter van der Waay really wanting to bring these other top riders out to this top level event to see how they can perform under pressure. Oh, she's running a bit. Sit up, Yannicka. Beautiful. Trust. Trust is everything. These two showed already great form on home soil in Basel. Owner Tia Paul will be jumping every fence with Yannicka today. This could really help the Swiss, Phil.
This will keep them on 16 penalties. Just the one to go for Yannicka Sprunger. She comes to the last. It's a beautiful double clear. Perfectly timed round, a perfectly jumped round. Yannicka Sprunger, Orally go clear, keeping Switzerland on 16 penalties and a double clear for this comparatively young 10-year-old mare, Orally. So Switzerland keeping their 4th position, which is where they were when they came into this 2nd round on that 16 penalties. Ireland in the lead at the moment, followed by Sweden and Germany, both on 4 faults, Ireland on 0. Now for Germany, 2nd of their 3 riders, Jorne Spray. Spray, hot easy.
Jorne jumped a great clear with Spray, a hot easy in the first round. Not surprisingly, this pair have been really working their way up, gaining experience at 5-star level over the last year. Oh, and a little rub there. And Uncle Albert enabling Jorne to keep Hot Easy, of course, there was an awful lot of interest in this horse at the Olympic turnover time. 4 sales at the window for selling horses before the Olympics, but family have moved up and kept this horse. Sit up, Jorna, to give this lady a great shot at exactly competitions like this. Jorna, a very accomplished rider, extremely dedicated to her horses. And her dad also, very, very present figure in the whole management. Come on, Jorna. Come on, Germany.
Down to the last. It's a double clear for Germany, a double clear for Jonas Spray, and Spray Hot Easy. That keeps Germany on 4 penalties. They've got David Will to come, but the pressure piling on Sweden and Ireland, a super clear. So Germany stay on 4 penalties. The pressure really starting to take a grip at the sharp end of this competition, the second of the 2 rounds of the Longines League of Nations in Abu Dhabi. We go to Sweden. Sweden currently on 4 penalties. They've had a double clear from Henrik von Eckermann. Now the turn of former European champion Peter Fredriksson with Al Capone de Camille.
I was going to say it's a tall order to expect this new combination to go in and jump the clear round that they need to jump in this competition. And he falls victim to number 1. But really, it is only fair to say that Al Capone and Peter Fredriksson, a completely new partnership. They've only done 2 or 3 competitions together. But Henrik von Eckermann, of course, is very... Henrik von Eckermann also, but Henrik Anker-Krone is very keen to have this man as part of his team going to Paris. And it's just to see, of course, All In, the wonderful All In, retired, and his other horses getting a little older. So Peter desperately trying to build up a combination with Vroom and now with Al Capone to see if he has a horse good enough to make that team to be part of the 4 in Paris. But this, of course, is really going to throw the Swedish team back.
Keeps them in 3rd place at the moment, Jess, but they're getting close to Switzerland. They're on 12, coming down to the last. Oh, and it's gone. They just dropped Sweden into 4th place with that. 12 penalties from Peter Fredriksson and Al Capone de Camille. Puts them on 16 penalties and drops them into 4th place. So it says there they're staying 3rd. There was a graphic that said they came into 4th place, but it's very close split between Sweden and Switzerland. Looking at their times, looks like Sweden might have just held on to their 3rd spot at the moment, but we still have the 3rd line riders to come, and all scores count in this 2nd round. Mickey Pender for Ireland with HHS Calais. Ireland currently on 0, out on their own. It's very, very tight.
It is, because you can see with the round now, like Peter Fredriksson, it just completely upsets the apple cart. I mean, it just throws them away.
The first round had 4 athletes, and now just 3. All scores count. Great clear from Mickey Pender in the first round.
He did a very, very good job with Calais in the first round. Always balancing this big horse, using the scope and balancing after the jumps. It's quite something. The shadows now coming at number 3 is the only reason that I can see that this fence is starting to play a role in this 2nd round. The first round, it was a completely irrelevant jump, just part of the course. And suddenly it's a game changer. Well ridden down there. Big horses having an advantage to be able to back off on the 5, but a disadvantage to be able to slow down coming out. There is owner and boss Marion Hughes in the corner, jumping every fence with Mickey and Calais. Oh, well ridden through the combination. Of course, if he can stay on the 4 faults, they're still in the hunt.
They're in the hunt level with Germany. 2 to go for Mickey Pender for Ireland.
He was late on the 6. He was so late on the 6.
Gone at the last.
I thought he was going to do 5 strides. He set off, and I thought he's going to do 5, but he misjudged.
Mickey Pender with HHS Calais, 2 fences down, 8 faults, so puts them with 1 rider to come from each nation in 1 fence behind Germany. Germany go into the lead on 4 faults. So into second place, having come into the second round on 0, they're on 8 now. Into second, Germany on 4, Sweden on 16 in third. We now come to the final line riders of the 8 nations in the second round here in Abu Dhabi at the Longines League of Nations.
Welcome back to the Longines League of Nations here in Abu Dhabi, UAE. Now we are at the sharp end of the competition and there are only 8 riders left. Germany has taken the lead after Ireland's third-line rider, Michael Pender, had 2 knockdowns. The Irish team is now in second place with 8 penalties and Sweden in third with a team score of 16. The pressure is now on the anchor riders who cannot afford to make any mistake.
Let's go back to Aaron Vale. He is the last competitor for the United States, and he rides Carissimo 25, looked after by Nicola Cook.
In the first round, saw an absolute treat from this combination, how Aaron and Carissimo came in and saved the day for the USA team in such style. Of course, they floated away from the podium at this stage. What if this man could jump a double clear? What would that mean for his chances to maybe get a squeak on the team in Ocala on home ground? Can you imagine? McLean Wards and Laura Krauts. That would be quite something. Lovely piece of riding, but Carissimo really answering beautifully to everything that Aaron says. Squeezed him out over the last there, just got caught. Their campaign is ending in double figures today.
1 fence down, 4 faults for Aaron Vale and Carissimo 25 for the United States. They complete on 28 penalties. So into 8th place on 28 penalties. Into the clubhouse go the United States of America. And they complete their campaign here in Abu Dhabi in the League of Nations. We now go to Great Britain. Also on 28 penalties and still to jump. This man in the arena bidding for a double clear. Jack Whitaker with Equine America Q Pavarotti N.
So every jump counts for every team. Not only those who are going to take the big purse home as the winners, but also those... Oh, he's much too big. Oh, he just misjudged there. He'll kick himself for that. Di Lampard knew she was taking a little bit of a risk bringing a young team, yet at the same time they got into the second round and they've gained a lot of experience.
And a rub at the last, but it's still there. It's 2 down, 8 faults for Jack Whitaker, Equine America Q Pavarotti N for Great Britain. So Great Britain into 8th place with the 36 penalties. At the end of their campaign here in front of their home crowd. Now we go to Brazil. Luciano Diniz.
Well, they've got that behind them. Luciana said herself in the interview that she was probably a little overconfident coming into the first round because she was getting such a good feeling with vertigo, which is understandable after knocking down the first jump. He jumped foot perfect. Luciana, very stylish rider and very effective rider. Great addition to have her back on the Brazilian team. Having been away for a few years for Portugal, she's back in the home country. Shikanju's really going for the 6 strides. There's quite a few riders trying to get the 6 strides in the second round, having found the 5 simply too flat for their horses. And that was really nicely ridden to be able to slow down after the forwards movement in the water and still keep the balance. Vertigo looking as good as ever. Lovely ride
Just
from
the
Luciana.
last. It's a brilliant round for Brazil, a superb round from Luciano Diniz with Vertigo du Desert. They go clear, keeping Brazil in that 5th place on 20 points. And it will be 10-point difference between whoever finishes in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
For Switzerland, Barbara Schneiper with Canis.
But they got to leave the jumps up first before we start talking about the time splitting them. Every pole counts at this stage. And another rider that was undecided around the corner there and paid the penalty. I think we might even find that number 3 has been the most hit jump in the second round. Barbara and Canis jumped such a great clear with a time fault in the Grand Prix on Friday. And maybe, in hindsight, if like Janneke Sprunger they'd maybe waited for today, it could have been a different story, but you don't know these things until you've gone and tried it. But one thing is for sure, this pair is really coming up to this level to be another candidate to really help the Swiss team.
And the Longines Oxer stays up at the last. So Barbara Schneiper, 8 penalties with Canis, putting Switzerland on 24 penalties at the end of their campaign here in Abu Dhabi. Slip into 5th place. Brazil go into 4th on 20. A very important round for the afternoon. A 24 penalties, just been confirming that Switzerland on 24 penalties, because this round for Germany, David Will with My Prance van Dorbeheide, a clear, wins the Longines League of Nations Leg 1 in Abu Dhabi. Germany currently on a total of 4 penalties after 2 brilliant second round clears from Christian Kuckuck and Jonas Bray, and they are out in front on that 4. A clear from David Will gives them the Longines League of Nations Abu Dhabi title.
Well, I must say, if I was in Otto Becker's shoes at this moment, I'd be quite happy that it's this combination that have got the difficult job of going in to jump that clear round, as they have really been shining over the last months. And David Will is a very, very cool customer in the saddle. He knows how to deal with pressure. He deals with it on a daily basis. Got a very big operation at home, together with Richard Fogel and Sophie Hinners. This is the moment. Got it.
Brilliant.
Got it.
Foot perfect.
Even time to wipe his nose as he went through the corner. Oh. Good piece of riding and really well managed from My Prince. Phil, bring him home.
2 to go.
Oh, it's gone!
Level with Ireland.
Wow! Well,
The
we didn't see
penultimate
that
fence
coming.
goes for Germany. David Will looks back over his shoulder to see. I'm not sure he can believe it. He's
Wow.
looking back to see what the situation is. He must have heard the pole go, but he is on 8 penalties, or Germany on 8, as that 4 adds to the 4 they were already on.
I just tried to keep him straight, and my Prince just dropped a little to the left, and those poles, very difficult colour.
Because we've got to decide who is going to be in 3rd place at this stage, because anything can happen. Of course, Ireland, all scores count. So Ireland on 8, Germany on 8. Rolf Göran Benson with his European team gold medalist, Zucchero HV.
Oh, well, can you believe that? I mean, let's have a fight between number 1 and number 3. What's the most difficult fence on the course? Unbelievable. But that puts him to 20, so it's about the times now with Brazil.
We won't know until
yeah, but
he breaks the beam.
But we're talking there just about podium. But he has to stay on that. Up for vital points and podium position. Of course, there's so much prize money out there today. 3rd place.
110,000
yeah.
euros.
Yeah, it's a big difference. And of course, we're talking about 3rd place, but Mark McCauley would of course have to still have a super performance. If he fell out of bed, it could all change. But Rolf is a man, he doesn't lose his concentration when something like that happens.
So just the first down, but no trouble for the rest of the course for the multi-medalist and former world number 1, Rolf Göran Benson, Zucchero, complete on 4 faults. And therefore, Sweden complete on 20 penalties in 3rd place. Germany currently on 8 penalties, level with Ireland.
It's a tall order for this combination. If you'd said it to me a few months ago, I would have said they're lacking a little bit in experience, not Mark, but Lady Amaro, but their results over the last months. And the tendance has always been onwards and upwards. So the first round was foot perfect. The pressure is on. Mark likes a bit of pressure.
A clear gives us a jump off between Ireland and Germany here in Abu Dhabi.
Wouldn't that be exciting for the first leg of the Longines League of Nations that we would have a jump off? This lovely homebred mare, Lady Amaro. Mark just keeping a nice rhythm, always keeping the movement going forwards. Oof, strong ride to the water, she answered. Oh,
it's gone.
Oh, it's over.
It's gone to Germany.
It's over. Mark had to give a very strong ride to the water, and she landed not running, and of course then he had to ride, and the 5 got flat and ended up being a little bit too far away.
He's got a bit of breathing space to keep them in 2nd place, Mark. He's currently now on 12. 3rd place Sweden on 20.
Disappointing mistake for Mark, because this mare has jumped 2 absolutely brilliant rounds today.
He was clear in the first round. It's been a super round in the 2nd round, but 1 fence down has cost them victory in Abu Dhabi as Mark McCauley and GRS Lady Amaro complete on 4 penalties. So at the end of the first of the 4 legs of this brilliant new competition being brought forward together by Longines, this Longines League of Nations, as Ireland finish on 12 penalties in 2nd place. Germany take the title here in Abu Dhabi on 8 penalties. Ireland complete in second place on 12. Sweden on 20 take third place, just 6 or 7 seconds ahead of Brazil, also on 20 penalties in fourth. Switzerland in fifth, United States in sixth, Great Britain in seventh place, United Arab Emirates, brilliant for them to be in the second round in eighth. The Netherlands, France and Belgium did not make the cut.
Yeah, great. I'm really happy with the performance, with the victory, and the team that did a great job. I'm really happy, I must say.
Congratulations to Team Germany on their win in this brand new series. The current winners of the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup Final 2023 have proven their strength again. Germany, who is the only nation to become 8-time Olympic champions, showed that it is a force to be reckoned with. What a start to the Longines League of Nations Series 2024. 700,000 euros in prize money has been distributed for the first leg, as have the first points for qualification for the final. That's all from Abu Dhabi. Next stop will be Ocala in the USA. Join us then for leg 2 of the Longines League of Nations and more top quality jumping action. Until then, it's goodbye.